Thank you. I'm Junkeun Chae from Korea University, and let's talk about the presentation of characterization of structural property relationships in compression molded LLDP films using CFC. And there are four contents, and first content is introduction. And let me introduce the importance of intrinsic study. Polyethylene films are used for food storage and agricultural applications, and mechanical properties such as tear and dart properties are critical in these applications. And polyethylene films are mass-produced through the blowing process, and intrinsic studies are important for selecting the material to be used in the process according to the application. And tear and dart results for compression molded film and blown films are comparable. And intrinsic means the compression molded film with no process effects, such as orientation effects. Consequently, the intrinsic properties follow comparable trends after processing, and it can utilize for pre-processed material selection. And this is the representative microstructure distribution of polymers, CCD and MWD. CCD means the chemical composition distribution, and MWD means molecular weight distribution. Polymers with the same CCD can have different MWD, and the same MWD can have different CCD. Both MWD and CCD are important factors affecting the properties of polymer materials. CCD was analyzed by trap test. Trap is the temperature rising illusion fractionation, and this technique is analyzing the eluting samples by gradually increasing the temperature of the column, and is related to the crystallinity of polymers. And MWD was analyzed by GPC. GPC is the Gare permeation chromatography, and this technique for analyzing the difference in outflow, this time specific substance dissolved in solvent through a GPC column, is related to the size of the polymer. And we use the bivariate distribution analysis by CFC. CFC is the cross fractionation chromatograph. This technique is the for simultaneous MWD and CCD analysis of polymers after passing through a trap column and then through a GPC column. This is the sample of the CFC data, and we presenting a property prediction method using the CFC data. And second content is the research objectives. Our research objective is analyzing the impact of intrinsic properties and on the mechanical properties. In this study, we have performed the modeling of darts for key film properties. And we use the various structure LLDP films, and it has a C6 hexane comonomer, and it used the metallocene catalyst. And third content is research results. And these are IDI test apparatus and sample of IDI test results. IDI test by clamped specimen and dropping impactor with row cell. And we can get the FT curve and area under the FT curve. The total dart energy was evaluated. And this is the schematic image of IDI test. Stage 1 through 2, the impactor is bending film until the yield stress is exceeded at the circumference of the center zone. And then the stage 2 through 3, the plastic deformation zone occurs with the film drawing and in circumference of the center zone. And then a plastic deformation zone is developing, which reduce the kinetic energy of the dart. And last stage is in the fracture occurs when the kinetic energy of the dart exceeds the fracture energy of the film. Consequently, to increase the dart resistance, the material needs to have enough strength for the PZ to develop. And then this this is the sample after experiment and measure diameter of PZ. We can show the LP 5 and 6 shows that PZ is less developed. And then this is the ideal results of LDP samples. And we show that the LDP 5 and 6 have the lower dot total energy than other samples. And there are the tensile test results. LP 5 and 6 had a low strength, so PZ could not be fully developed. And then this is the GPC-IR results of LDP samples. The black line is the GPC and represents the molecular weight data. And the red line is the IR, which means the short chain branch data. LDP 1 through 4 are known as a BOCD structure, have a high distribution of short chain branch in chains with large molecular weight, which has a high tight chain probability. But LDP 5 and 6 have a constant distribution of short chain branch. It has a low tight chain probability than BOCD structure. And GPC IR analysis gave results for molecular weight and short chain branch data. We found that the higher the molecular weight and short chain branch, the higher the dot total energy. And based on the above results, we have identified the correlation between intrinsic and mechanical properties using CFC data. Because the CFC, this is the CFC data, and CFC data has structure meaning based on its position. In the X direction, the more elution at lower temperatures, the material has more short chain branch. And in the Y direction, it means the molecular weight. We proposed the method for predicting properties using CFC. And this is schematic image of proposed method. And we're predicting the properties using volume in the characteristic range. This is the characteristic range. And characteristic range consists of the areas inside alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. Alpha and beta are the upper and lower limits of the elution temperature, and gamma and delta are the upper and lower limits of the molecular weight. And finding method, this is the finding method of the characteristic range. This is the CFC data is in Y direction, it has 61 data, and in X direction, it has 85 data. And scans while reducing the window size and increasing scanning runs, while reducing the window size lambda, and select the most highly correlated ranges at the same size. Then optimize the characteristic range of highly confident values based on the p-value. And we can get the optimal range. And this is the characteristic range of dart. It shows the high molecular weight and low elution temperature. It indicates the high short chain branch contents, and dart properties are increased with higher molecular weight and more short chain branch. And the conclusions. First, to increase the dart total energy of LDP film, the PG must be fully developed. And materials with BOCD structure have better dart properties because it forms more tight chains. And the higher molecular weight and short chain branch, the higher dart total energy. And characteristic range of darts show high molecular weight and low elution temperature. And we can using the characteristic range to predict IDI total dart energy with CFC results. And Characteristic range contents is an important factor in pre-processed material selection and when compounding new resins. And there's a further research we explore the characteristic range for the on another properties such as tensile or tear, and we modified the model by finding process effects using blowing film. And finally, uh, thank you for your attention.